Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the Grow a Garden video. Today we have a bunch of leaks for the new insane Chubby Chipmunk update that's going to be coming out. I'm talking about a ton of pets and insane abilities, and one of these pets looks like it might be one of the best pets we have ever had added into the game. We know a lot about the functionality of the event, and then we're also going to talk about some background things, including Jandel's return to Grow a Garden admin abuses. So we're going to go over literally everything you need to know about this update. If you enjoy this update, find it useful, just want to stay updated on all the best leaks, tips, tricks, and methods, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. With that being said, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into the video. Alright, so earlier this morning, which is a bit later than usual, normally they do this on Wednesday, we did finally get the event announcement, and just like I talked about in my last Grow a Garden news video, we are not getting a part 2 to the Seed Stages update. We already kind of thought this just because of how badly received this update was, and how one of the admins said they were going to be cooking up a new event this week anyways, so we basically knew this Seed Stages update was leaving after 1 week. However, we now know what event is going to be replacing it, and it's going to be the Chubby Chipmunk event. So with the event announcement, we got a new event page, which I love looking at because typically they do provide a ton of information on the type of event. So here we go, the Chubby Chipmunk event. This update is going to introduce a Chubby Chipmunk event and more. Discover and explore Chubby Chipmunk event, new rewards, seeds, pets, some quality of life, weather, and lots more. Honestly, this is probably the smallest description we have ever had for an event. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe they're trying to hide some certain features, but just off of that event page, you don't really know too much about how the event is going to work, and that is why we have leaks. So let's go ahead and get into everything so far that we know about this event that has been leaked. Future Loot Muffin here. It does look like the Seed Stages update might actually be staying just because they did go ahead and create another Evo seed, but this time an Evo apple seed. Obviously it's not in the game right now, but the fact that they created this seed kind of tells me that it's probably going to be like the cooking event, where it is somehow integrated into the fundamental part of the game and stays, but just not as an event. As always, all of these leaks are coming from the Dawn Discord server. Massive shout out to these guys. They provide really fast and accurate leaks. Go ahead and check them out. Now, because these leaks are from the testing server, it means some of these pets, some of these abilities, some of these mechanics, and some of the items in the game are still being tested. So take these leaks with a grain of salt. It's rare that any of the leaks are actually changed before the update is released, but obviously there is a purpose for the testing server. So it is possible some of these things could be slightly altered, changed, or replaced before this event actually does come out. But I think it's important to mention that this is technically not a new event. Although the admin said they're working on cooking up a new event, it seems like this event was created alongside the Fall Harvest event, and it was referred to as the Squirrel event. So I think they definitely changed it to the Chipmunk event. But even back then, there were mechanics such as submit all squirrels and submit squirrels built into the game for this quote-unquote Squirrel event, which we now know is the Chubby Chipmunk event. And you'll see definitely fits the layout of this event. So I definitely think they created this alongside the Fall Harvest event and likely scrapped it and then decided they just want to reuse it, which I honestly don't know how to feel about. That being said, let's talk about how this event is going to work based on all the leaks we have. Now, for some reason on the Grow Garden Twitter account, they did label this event as something else, not the Chubby Chipmunk event, but the Nutty Fever event. Now, I'm not sure why they would do this. Maybe they were going to call it the Nutty Fever event, but then changed it because the name might be a little problematic, but they forgot to change it on their Twitter. Regardless, this image gives us a lot more info to look at when it comes to this event. So we are going to be getting a free Chubby Chipmunk. I'm not sure if you can get multiples of these, but this is going to be the first chipmunk you start off with, and your goal is to make this chipmunk chubby. Now you can do this by actually adding to its weight, because its ability is that every 4 minutes it eats a fruit in your garden and gains an additional 0.009 kg. Now when it's fed, it also has a 15% chance to gain 0.01 kg, and each mutation on the fed fruit grants an additional 3.2% chance to gain 0.01 kg. Now, if you didn't know, no matter what a pet's hunger is, you can infinitely feed them already. So I think if you can go ahead and do this with the new Chubby Chipmunk, that could already be a really insane method to grow this chipmunk massive. As you are growing this chipmunk, you can then go ahead and donate it to the NPC or somehow give it to the NPC to earn rewards. You can see here in this image, it says your chipmunk weighs a certain kg. So depending on the kg of the chipmunk, you can get different rewards. For 2 kg, it would give you a nutty chest. For 4 kg, it would give you something called a energy chew, which we don't even know what that is yet. But it's pretty obvious that you're going to be growing these chubby chipmunks and then submitting them once you feel like you've reached a high enough weight to get different rewards depending on the weight of the chipmunk. I think a lot of this is probably just going to be AFK-able, having the chipmunk grow on its own, but this definitely aligns with the mechanics from the squirrel event that was leaked a few weeks ago, where there's a function that allows you to submit all squirrels or submit a squirrel. Obviously, these are now changed to chipmunks. Now that being said, we are getting some new type of plants called the nut type plant. So this is going to be a plant trait just like any other plant trait, like leafy or fruit or anything like that. And we've had 2 of these plants leaked so far, the hazelnut tree and the persimmon plant. We actually do have another plant called the acorn plant leaked as well, which does make sense because it does say on the sign above the NPC acorn nuts. So maybe you can only donate acorns. We'll have to see. Now I definitely think you're going to be able to submit these nuts to the NPC in the middle here to fill up that meter and activate the nutty fever, or whatever they call it now. I don't know if they're going to keep it as the nutty fever to possibly boost maybe the growth rate of your chipmunks or something like that. But we don't have that part of the event completely fleshed out yet. However, I do think the nutty plants are definitely going to play a huge part. Now, like I mentioned earlier, there are going to be some rewards that you get from submitting chipmunks. For example, we had that energy bar, which we don't know what it does yet, but we do have a few other rewards leaked, like the nutty crate. Here is an image of the odds of everything in there. So we're going to be getting a 0.5% cosmetic called the acorn fountain. It's definitely just going to look like any other fountain we have had added into the game, but like an acorn theme, and then the acorn statue and some other things. And tomorrow night, we'll definitely have those images for those cosmetics. I might make another video depending on how much more gets leaked, because I honestly do think there's a ton of stuff that has not been leaked yet. But the biggest thing that was leaked, which is another reward you're going to be able to earn from donating your chipmunks, is the nutty chest. There's going to be a regular version and an exotic version that you can buy for Robux, 199 Robux for 1 or 1700 Robux for 10. Now here are all the odds of everything in the crate. Now there are 3 seeds and 3 pets in here. This is where our nut type plants are coming in. So the hazelnut, the persimmon, and the acorn are all obtainable from this chest. And then we have 3 new pets, the farmer chipmunk, the idle chipmunk, and the chinchilla. But unfortunately, the only image we really have of these is inside of the exotic chest image, where you can kind of see these pets. So the left one there is the farmer chipmunk. The middle one, it looks like it's going to be the chinchilla. And then the right one looks like it's going to be the idle chipmunk. But those pets do look pretty cute. However, let's talk about their abilities. So now, once again, these are all from the testing servers. So inside the pet menu, they are using placeholder squirrels instead of the actual pet icon. But these are all the abilities, and the abilities are available on the official Grow Garden Wiki for those who want to test the validity. But yes, these are the abilities. Now the farmer chipmunk is pretty interesting. All it does is for every farmer chipmunk you have in your garden, every nut plant in your garden will grow 1.5 times faster. It looks like there is no radius on this thing, so it could be pretty decent, especially if we get some decent nut type plants, or if once again you do need to grow and submit a ton of nut type plants to fill up that NPC bar or whatever kind of event or reward it will give you. The second pet, the idle chipmunk, every 11 minutes performs a song for 8 seconds, and all other pets in your garden restore 1.5% hunger per second. Now this is not bad at all, but once again, like the moth, if you want to infinitely restore hunger for everything, you're going to need 2 of them because it does not restore its own hunger. But then lastly, we have the chinchilla, the 1% pet in the new acorn chest. Now honestly, I don't think these chests are going to be super easy to obtain like the previous chests we've had, so this pet is not going to be super easy to obtain, which is good because this pet's ability is absolutely insane and is definitely going to be sought after. So every 30 minutes it goes to another pet, rolls around in the dust, and makes that pet perform its ability 3 times in a row. Now if it works on other chinchillas, that is insane. Obviously, having its ability activate 3 times means you can have another pet's ability activate 9 times, but I think that would kind of break the game. So even if it doesn't work on other chinchillas, then you can use 7 chinchillas and 1 raccoon, and literally every 30 minutes you can have a raccoon use its ability 21 times. So that's already pretty insane. And obviously it doesn't have to be a raccoon. You can use any other pet that has an insane ability, maybe even a mimic. If it works on mimics, that would be wild. But the insane part about this is that the 30 minutes and the 3 times in a row are both base stats. You can see at age 1 with a slightly higher than 1 kg, the 3 times in a row has already increased to 3.03 times in a row, meaning it does scale up with age and will get better with age. So this is just the minimum that it is, and it will get better with age. So honestly, 7 of these chinchillas with literally any other pet in the game could be absolutely game breaking. That being said, when this chinchilla pet comes out, you're going to want to get your hands on it, and that is where today's sponsor can definitely help you out. Trade Kitsune is an amazing platform with tons of tools like their trade matching system, where you can post trade offers with a built-in fairness scale, browse other trade listings, and then use their messaging system to coordinate the trades with other players. They have tons of other useful features like the pet wiki, which contains a ton of info, a constantly updated pet tier list, a community program to help keep all the info accurate, and their brand new pet inventory management system. This system allows you to upload an image of your inventory and use a built-in smart analysis to help plan your trading priorities, collection goals, and even recommend team combos. They have a great rating on Trustpilot and are an amazing resource for all Grow a Garden players. Now for my cosmetic lovers out there, we are getting a few new cosmetics. I don't think these are going to be related to the event. These are probably going to be permanent cosmetics, but we have a glass set of items. So we have a glass table, a glass staircase, and a glass bookshelf. And then we also have some garden lanterns, some party lights, a street lantern, and even a round lantern that are very likely to be added inside this next update. So I came out with the video on Sunday talking about how it looks like we are getting a change in the power structure of the developers, considering Jandel is no longer the owner of the Discord and he hasn't been participating in admin abuses, and we had a new dev run an admin abuse. So it seemed like he was getting further and further away from the game, and we just got an explanation now on his TikTok saying that he was getting burned out, and that is why he kind of stopped being too involved with Grow a Garden, as well as he did clarify, just like I clarified in that video on Sunday, that he is technically not the owner of Grow a Garden. It's kind of like a company with a ton of different owners and a ton of different people who have stakes in the game. So Jandel was really never the owner of Grow Garden. He was just more so the head developer, and that's why he's seen as the owner, because he would communicate with the community the most. But in his newest TikTok, he did say he was going to be doing the admin abuse on Saturday, and he's going to be a little more involved in the game. I honestly think this is just a symbolic thing. He saw a bunch of people hating on him or kind of dumping Grow Garden to the side and focusing on Plants vs. Brain Rots, and I think this was just a way for him to save his image. And in a few weeks, I think he's definitely going to become less and less involved again. I hope I'm wrong, but I really do see this as more of a PR move. And considering how involved he's been in Plants vs. Brain Rots already, I think his main focus is going to be that game for the next little while, and Grow Garden is inevitably going to be thrown to the side again once the hate cools down on him. That being said, let me know what you guys think about this event and the leaks we have for it so far. Obviously, there are a ton of items and a ton of things we still don't have leaked and we don't have images for, including that new energy bar. And I think there's probably going to be a few more gears and a few more items we're going to be able to get from the rewards. So once those get leaked, I'll definitely make a short form video on it. And if there's enough leaks by the end of tomorrow night for me to make a long form video on it, I'll definitely make another long form leaks video. But I'm definitely curious to hear you guys' opinion on this update and whether or not you think this event so far looks like it could be a positive event and change for Grow a Garden. That being said, that is it for today. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, or just want to stay updated on all the best leaks, tips, tricks, and methods for Grow a Garden, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again so much for all of the support. I really appreciate you guys. That being said, I hope you all have an amazing day and good luck gardening.